Welcome to the last of the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982 podcast, brought to you by Dietzel Man Productions.
High. One of the students, I have no idea who he was, but he was in wood shop, and he took that picture and put it on some masonite, and then and cut them up into puzzle pieces. His picture of College High, and I got every piece but one. It was one. I put it together and had one missing piece. Well, that's pretty good, out of all of those.
Tell you what. Later on, looking back, it was their parents. I grew up without a dad in the home, but their parents had a huge impact on me.
Cheated to win, and this young man asked why he cheated, to win. And in the course of that conversation, he said he wanted to get the gold. He had to get the gold medal, but he came to the realization that if you're not enough without the gold medal, you're never going to be enough with the gold medal. And I think I love that.
But
so, can you leave to go to the bathroom?
You can. Yeah, we don't lock you in. Stand by the door. You're not leaving. No, totally. You can leave to go to the bathroom. We encourage, my spiel that I give at the beginning of class is make sure you have all the water you need, all the Kleenexes you need, all the stuff right at your mat, because the more movement and distractions, the harder it is to focus, obviously. And the minute you leave the door and you feel the air conditioning in the lobby, probably not coming back in. Probably not coming back in. So they say, if you feel dizzy, you feel sick, you feel tired, just lie down on your back and just stay there and just get used to the heat. Try not to leave. Your only goal in this class is to stay in the room. Your only goal, stay in the room.
Hey, this is Scott Townsend. Welcome back to the last of the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982 podcast. And today I have with me a great friend, old friend. She's a yoga expert. She's a yoga instructor, Atina McCrary-Pegram. How's it going?
Good. How are you? It's nice to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Been a long time.
Been a long time.
So for those of you watching and listening, Atina and I went to Oklahoma State University at the same time. We were same major, all the same classes. You and I and a bunch of others hung out, had our own little club
group.
And so that was a lot of fun. And but there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then. So it's great to have you back, and it's good to see you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
So, as I was telling you, the reason why I've had you on the show, and I've wanted to have you on either one of my podcasts for a long time. The reason for today is the last graduating class of College High, 82. We're all 58, 57 years old. And we've got a 40th reunion coming up. And we're probably, I don't know, I'm going to guess everybody else is thinking about getting in better shape or looking at least halfway decent for the 40th reunion. If they're not, at least I am. So
yeah.
If nobody else is interested, at least I'm interested.
It's a good motivator for sure.
Yeah. But I have a feeling there's a lot of other people in the same boat as I am. So as a yoga instructor, I'll just let you introduce yourself. What kind of background do you have in yoga? And
Sure. I went to yoga training in 2001, right after 9/11. They actually had canceled it It was in LA. And then all of a sudden they're like, we're going to do it. Just go for it. And so my training was in LA. You may have heard of the yoga that I'm teaching. It's been pretty controversial. It's called Bikram yoga. And he's the guru he's gotten in a lot of trouble. But regardless of him, the yoga is amazing. Like the series he put together is phenomenal, and it's for every age. Anyway, so I went to training 2001, 9 weeks, 2 classes every day. It is hot yoga is what I teach. So we're in a room about 105 to 107 degrees with about 40 to 50% humidity. So it's like a sauna, sweating, right?
Yeah.
Kind of nuts, right? It is kind of nuts. But it makes you feel really, really good. Anyway, so after I left training, I came back and I actually went to Tulsa and did an internship in Tulsa at a studio there. I met the guy. He came out and did, his name is Greg McAllister, not Greg McAllister, Greg something. I can't remember now. It's been a long time. Anyway, Greg and his wife, Maria. And I did an internship there for 6 months. And that's where I kind of learned how to teach, because they don't really teach you how to teach. They just teach you the background. The dialogue is what we give in class. Anyway, and then I came back to Dallas where I live, and I opened my own studio. And I had my studio for 8 years, and it was tough, but I'm glad I did it. I learned a lot from running my own business, and it's a lot anyway. And then I got married, I had kids, and now I work for other people, let them have the headache of running a business. And I get to have a little bit more free schedule and do what I really want to do. And I teach yoga, and I teach also kid yoga. So I do a lot of kid workshops as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is, and the kid yoga I do mostly with underprivileged children. Like yoga is expensive and it's not accessible to everybody. So my goal is to make it accessible for everybody, because I just don't feel like that's very yoga-ish, right?
Right.
It's only for the certain people, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I do outside of my job. And I love it. I've been doing the same thing since 2001. It's the longest job I've ever had. It gives me freedom. It gives me health. It gives me energy and peace of mind, quite honestly. Not getting rich, believe me, not getting rich. But it's not all about that. I'm having a good time. So that's
right. Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Well, I guess that sums it up. Well, thanks a lot for being here, Atina.
Thank you. It's great to see you, Scott. Peace.
So
I will say, because you're talking about your reunion, I teach the really early morning classes. So I teach at 5:30 in the morning and 6 a.m. Monday through Saturday. And the average age, because I get this little report once a month, and the average age in my class is 54.
Oh.
So that kind of works into what we're talking about today. So people are like, I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. I can't do yoga because I'm too old. I can't do yoga because there's lots of excuses that we all make, right? So, but they're all false, right? Because you can, and you do yoga to become flexible. You don't have to be flexible to do yoga.
Right. It's like you don't have to have a PhD to get your PhD. You have to
exactly.
You worked up to it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a process. It is for any age level. I mean, the heat, which you don't have to have the heat, but where I teach, that's always seems to be the most intimidating thing. They're like, I hate the heat. But once you've done it and you realize the benefits, and the benefits are that your muscles stay warm. So you're more flexible. You're more pliable. You can mold your body easier. You can lose weight and toxins more quickly because you're sweating profusely. And you just take it easy. You're like, if you can't do it, you don't do it. You just sit down, and there's no judgments.
So let's go into the different types of yoga. Is all yoga hot or?
No.
Okay.
Not all yoga is hot. It's become really trendy, hot yoga. And most of the yogas that say hot are really warm. They're like in the 80s or 90s degrees. Ours is literally hot. I mean, it feels like Texas heat, right? And so, or Oklahoma heat for that matter.
Yeah.
But no, there's so many different kinds of yoga. My yoga is hatha yoga, which is like the oldest, hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years old. And there's lots of derivatives of that. There's Ashtanga, there's Iyengar, there's all the different kinds of. These are all mainly people's names. and have done their own series. So every yoga basically has a series or it's a progression. You start with one posture and it goes to the next, and it's basically the same every single day. And so people think I'm going to get bored doing the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
You don't. And the reason you don't is because your body is so different every single day. So you may rock out one posture one day. You're like, man, I've nailed that. And then you come back the next day and you can't even do it. And it's just, so everything is just changing all the time, which makes it interesting and makes it fun. And that's why people keep doing it.
And I would also imagine that you see progress, like you're stretching, like today I can't touch my toes. 3 weeks from now, I'm palming the floor, And
Absolutely.
so you see progress. There's a little bit of feeling good about yourself and improving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it might, like, for instance, this particular yoga that I teach, people come every day. So people equate it with brushing your teeth. So you brush your teeth every day, you go to yoga every day. It's just something that you do. And this whole series is based, the one that I teach is based on health. So every single posture that we do, there's 26 of them, is working some part of your body, some gland, some organ, some muscle, something. And so it's kind of like you're scrubbing your body from the inside out. So you're getting it all working right. So you feel good. People want to come to yoga to lose weight, to get skinny and have the yoga body and the yoga butt, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
This yoga,
I guess. I've never been, but I'll take your word for it.
This yoga is like about health. So let's, for instance, you're too heavy or you're too skinny, which there's both, right? It gets you to a place where you're healthy, right? So it's not actually, people would say there was a lot of misinformation about the hot yoga, saying, oh, you lose 1,200 calories a class. It's 1,200 calories a class. You lose like 300. It's like taking a good brisk walk, right? Yeah. The reason people think that is because a man will sweat 3 to 5 pounds of weight off, but it's water weight. It's coming right back, right?
Yeah.
But so they're like, ooh, this is the best thing, but it's about health. And if you can get people thinking about health, then it's the whole picture comes together. It comes into this, nice bouquet.
So how do you define health? What are you talking about when you say this improves your health? What's it
your
improving?
Blood pressure,
okay,
diabetes, insomnia, just anything, everything. I mean, it really is everything. I mean, I have so many people who are off their heart medication, off their their diabetes medication. I have asthma. I don't know, maybe you don't remember that, but I do have asthma.
Oh, yeah.
Remember driving to the ER? Yeah. So I have asthma, but literally, Scott, I mean, since I've been doing yoga, I am not on any medication. There's a season in Dallas where I sometimes need a rescue inhaler. And that's an allergic thing, but it is not like how I couldn't leave anywhere without having medicine with me at all times. Like I don't even think about it anymore. And I really attribute that to the yoga because my lungs are stronger from all the breathing exercises that we do. And I believe it. The only thing I don't think it cures is your eyesight. That has not improved. It's gotten worse actually. So, but that's probably age, not so much yoga.
I guess the stretching, the flexibility, the muscles, flexing, contracting, pushing the lymph nodes and squeezing lymphatic system, squeezing things around where it's not usually been before, probably is all probably beneficial, I would guess.
That's exactly right. The lymphatic system is like one of the hardest things to get moving. I mean, right? I mean, there's got to be a lot of compression, a lot of release. And we do a lot of compression, a lot of release. And the thyroid gland, like we do a lot of like this kind of thing, like giving yourself the most massive double chin you could ever have. And that's working your thyroid gland, which stimulates, your metabolism and things like that. The compression of the adrenal glands. I mean, there's so many things that we do that you don't even really realize you're doing but they're happening.
Mm-hmm.
Not easy, but it's not hard either. I think it's more in your head than it is like your physical ability to do it, because your mind speak talks you out of so much stuff. Like, I can't because whatever your XYZ is, right? And it's just not true. I mean, I have students in my class who are, one lady, Keiko, she's from Japan. She's 78. She comes every day, every single day, and knows everything about sports. She's from California, and she knew who Mike Gundy was, and she was talking about, I'm 40, I'm a man, that thing. She knew. I mean, like, these people are amazing. So, but all ages. I started my kids when they are like 4 and 5 years old.
Oh yeah.
So they've got like a bonus. I mean, like, most people don't start till they're older.
You're right.
So yeah, it's for everybody. And that's the beauty of it, quite honestly. I mean, that it's not something, running is not for everybody. We have a lot of ex-runners who come because their knees and their back are hurt.
Yeah.
Because they can't do it anymore.
But
this is
pounding.
Like, the non-impact,
Mm-hmm.
your own body strength, your own body resistance, your own weight. I don't even really think if you're doing yoga that you really need to lift weights. And yet people are always, you have to lift resistance, all this. I don't even think it's that important if you're doing this, because you're using your own body weight all the time, which is like your own personal little resistance training in the room.
Right. So how long does a yoga session last typically?
Most yoga studios have an hour class.
Okay.
So our class is 90 minutes. And then we do have the same class for an hour. It's a little bit faster. But I would say most studios are about an hour class. You can even find a 45-minute class, actually. People are busy. So
you show up on Monday, you're instructing, and I walk in.
Yep.
First off, you're going to laugh.
No, never, ever.
You're going to go, oh my God, I know that guy. Everybody back away. So I'm not going to be able to do anything. I can stand up and I can walk. I can do maybe a slow jog. I can't.
Can you
touch
put your
my
arms
toes.
over your head?
Can I put my arms over my head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bam. That's the first posture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
you can totally do things.
So I'm guessing that at first there's a lot of things that I'll kind of be able to do, but everybody else is going to be, bent over, and everybody's a rubber band, and I'm this old tree trying to, get into these. I guess you do what you can.
You
Is
do
that
what you
right?
can. Exactly. And so what we do is we give a dialogue, right? So it's a specific instruction of exactly how to do, when to do, why to do, everything. So like I just asked you if you can put your arms over your head. So it's like, put your arms over your head, interlock your fingers, release your index fingers, stretch up, and then bend to the right. Not that hard, right? You don't have to go deep. You just have to go a little bit, and you're still, as long as you're trying the right way, you're going to get benefit. And you will be amazed at how quickly, like we always recommend for a first timer to come 10 days in a row. And they're like, you are nuts. You are nuts. I'm like, 10 days in a row, just do it. And 10 days, it's amazing, the transformation in the flexibility, in the mind, and how they are excited to come back. Automatically, your diet changes, because you can't come and do this yoga having drank the night before. Coffee makes you kind of sick to your stomach. Dairy kind of makes you sick to your stomach when you're thinking about this hot room, right? So there's a lot of things that you're like, oh, I'm going to yoga, so I can't do this. And then it just kind of becomes like, this is what you do. And so all those things change. So your diet automatically changes. So quick story, I was invited to go to my first hot yoga class by my friend's parents who were in their late 70s. After church, they said, you want to go to a yoga class? I'm like, sure. So I put on my Banana Republic men's pajama bottoms, or cotton, and I have a little tank top on, thinking I'm going to go sit in a room and meditate, go home, right? I walk in, I was like, what is going on in here? I was like, it's so hot. And I was like, and I went to the teacher. I said, I think your air conditioner's broken. She's like, no, this is hot yoga. I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, and how long are we going to be here? She said 90 minutes. I was like, oh, great. Backstory is I had gone out the night before. Now, of course, I'm like in my early 30s and I drank a lot. And then I went to Taco Bell on the way to yoga. Had a bean burrito because I needed a bean burrito. And I went and did this class. And I thought I was going to die. Like literally, like I crawled out of the room. I put my face on the concrete floor. I was like, sign me up. I was like, that was really great. And that was it. I've been going ever since.
The last of the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982 podcast is a Deep Soul Man production. Visit the Last of the Col-Hi Wildcats 1982 YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
This podcast is made possible by our Patreon members, Butch Boland, Ben Townsend, Mark Thompson, Glenn Goodrich, Sandra Yeager, and Christy Brooks. And by the generous donations made via the GoFundMe campaign.